The evening was perfect. Soft jazz played under strings of golden fairy lights as guests sipped champagne in the manicured garden of the Hartley residence. The couple of the hour, Lucas and Emily Hartley, were celebrating their 5th wedding anniversary, a milestone Emily had meticulously planned for months. Everything gleamed with sophistication. White roses, a chocolate fondant cake, and the glimmer of a diamond-studded bracelet on Emily's wrist. But beneath her radiant smile was a storm brewing, one that would turn a celebration into a reckoning. Lucas mingled with charm, always the sociable host. Emily watched him closely, her eyes flicking between her husband and their next-door neighbor, Vanessa Blake, the stunning, recently divorced Pilates instructor who seemed to laugh too loudly at Lucas's jokes. Emily had seen the signs. The late-night work meetings. The cologne she didn't buy him. The way Vanessa waved a little too eagerly from across the lawn each morning. But the final straw had come 2 weeks earlier, when Emily had found a lipstick-stained napkin in Lucas's car with Vanessa's perfume still lingering on it. So she waited, patiently. As the sun dipped and guests clinked glasses, Emily tapped her spoon against her flute of champagne. "Everyone," she began sweetly, "thank you for being here to celebrate 5 beautiful years of marriage with us. I have a little surprise planned. Lucas has always said honesty is the key to a lasting relationship." A few chuckles rippled through the crowd. She turned to Lucas, locking eyes. "Which is why I think tonight is the perfect time to share a little secret Lucas has been keeping. A special connection he's formed, one that's bloomed right under our noses." Lucas's smile faltered. "Vanessa, darling," Emily called out, her voice slicing through the warm night air like a blade. "Would you mind joining us for a moment?" All heads turned. Vanessa stood frozen, a half-finished glass of wine in her hand. Her smile died as she met Emily's steely gaze. "I think everyone should know," Emily continued, her voice calm and cool, "that for the past 3 months, while I was planning this anniversary party, my husband and our lovely neighbor have been entertaining each other behind closed doors." Gasps erupted. Vanessa's glass slipped from her fingers and shattered on the stone patio. Lucas stammered, Let's talk about this." "No, Lucas," Emily interrupted. "You don't get to talk. You get to listen to every guest here, to my parents, your parents, our friends, and maybe even to the lawyer I've already retained." The crowd parted as Emily stepped forward, handed Lucas an envelope, and whispered loud enough for everyone to hear. "Happy anniversary. You're getting the gift you deserve. Freedom. From me." With the elegance of a queen and the fire of a woman scorned, Emily turned, walked across the lawn, and disappeared into the night, leaving behind the sound of broken hearts, shattered illusions, and the slow, awkward clinking of stunned champagne glasses. The party didn't end. It imploded. Guests stood awkwardly, unsure whether to leave or stay. Their eyes darted between the pale-faced Lucas and the crumbling figure of Vanessa, who now looked like a ghost in heels. Lucas fumbled with the envelope Emily had handed him. Inside was a single sheet, a copy of a divorce petition, signed and dated. Attached was a photo, grainy but unmistakable. Vanessa in Lucas's arms, taken through the blinds of Vanessa's living room window. The timestamp on the photo? The night Emily had told Lucas she was out of town visiting her sister. The night she had waited in her car down the street, watching. The air was electric with tension. A woman whispered to her husband, "I told you something was off about Vanessa." Another clutched her pearls, as though they might shield her from the scandal. Lucas's best friend, Nate, approached cautiously. "Man, what the hell were you thinking?" Lucas didn't respond. His throat felt like it was closing. He scanned the crowd for sympathy, but found only judgment. Even his own mother looked away. Vanessa, humiliated and trembling, turned to leave, but not before Emily's best friend, Claire, blocked her path. "You might want to try another neighborhood next time," she said coldly. "We value loyalty here." Vanessa fled down the garden path, stilettos clicking like gunshots in the silence. Lucas remained alone, suddenly very aware of the silence where laughter once was. The fairy lights, once charming, now cast harsh shadows on his face. His perfect evening had become a public trial, and the jury had unanimously delivered its verdict. Across town, at a rooftop bar, Emily sat with Claire, sipping her martini with steady hands. Her phone buzzed, Lucas calling. She declined the call. "I should have done it sooner," Emily said, staring out over the city lights. "But I wanted everyone to see the truth, not just for me. For every woman who's ever been lied to with a smile and a kiss goodnight." Claire raised her glass. "To truth, to freedom, and to knowing when to burn the house down." Emily smiled, a real one this time, to never settling for less again. Lucas sold the house and vanished from the neighborhood. Word was, he tried reconcile with Vanessa, unsuccessfully. She moved shortly after, her windows forever shut. Emily launched a local blog. Wife interrupted. Part confessional, part expose, all empowerment. Her first post? The night I gave the toast that burned down my marriage. It went viral. What started as heartbreak became her rebirth. And she never looked back. 6 months later, Lucas Hartley had all but disappeared. After the explosive anniversary party, he'd lost everything, his marriage, his home, even his job, once his employer caught wind of the scandal. He drifted from city to city, leaving behind rumors and unpaid bills like breadcrumbs. Vanessa Blake, too, had vanished. Some whispered she'd left the country. Others weren't so sure. Emily, however, was thriving. Her blog wife, Interrupted, had gained traction, picked up by a podcast network, and she was suddenly a minor celebrity in women's circles for her bold takedown. Her posts were sharp, empowering, and laced with the poise of someone who had turned pain into power. But there was one thing she never revealed publicly: how she'd really known about the affair. One chilly evening in December, Claire joined Emily for a quiet dinner at her new apartment, a sleek, modern space high above the city skyline. "So, Claire said over red wine, "are you ever going to tell me how you actually caught them? That picture wasn't from a PI, was it?" Emily's eyes glinted. "No," she said softly. "I planted the camera myself. In Vanessa's living room." Claire blinked. "Wait, what? That illegal." Emily leaned in, voice low. "Let me ask you something. Have you ever noticed Vanessa had the exact same bedroom curtains as me?" Claire frowned. "I guess, yeah, maybe." Emily's smile turned razor sharp. "That's because I gave them to her. I gave her everything, compliments, friendship, even decorating tips. She thought she was clever, thought I was naive. I let her think that." Claire stared. "You set her up?" "No," Emily said. "I gave her rope. She tied the noose." She sipped her wine. "There's one more thing," Emily added, her tone casual. "The morning after the party, I got a message. An anonymous tip. Said Lucas and Vanessa had been plotting to clear out my savings account before disappearing together to Ibiza. They needed one more week." Claire gasped. "I threw the party 2 weeks early," Emily said, her smile never wavering. "Moved the celebration date. He didn't even notice. Too busy sneaking next door." Claire's hand was shaking. "Emily, what would you have done if you hadn't caught them in time?" Emily tilted her head thoughtfully. "Same thing I did anyway," she whispered. "Expose them. Humiliate them. Destroy them. Only faster." She stood and walked toward the window, staring out into the shimmering darkness of the city. "People say revenge is a dish best served cold," Emily murmured. "But I find it tastes better with champagne and applause." And behind her, the shadows seemed to shiver.